Welcome to my video on meal planning tips as requested by you guys. I go way over organised and actually make a thing of it. I start with which tea I might like, in this case peppermint. I light a candle, yep, I really do go to these lengths, and I get my favourite notebook and begin. So number one is to create a list of meals. I go through some recipes I've been given by nutritionists. You can read about that on my blog. I always tear out my favourite recipes when I'm reading magazines. I've got loads of cookbooks, there's Pinterest of course, and it's just a great way to sort of be inspired all the time and keep those recipes together, which I do in my recipe notebook. The second thing I do is get the whole family involved. So I text my husband, it's usually by text because we're like ships in the night sometimes. I ask him what he might fancy and he texts me back with some ideas.
Do you want to try that one?
I get the boy involved, of course.
Okay. This is what keeps my son busy while I'm doing some meal planning. None of his toys, none of his millions of toys that we have, but a sticky notepad organizer. Go figure.
It's true. And then finally, I look through all our drawers and cupboards at the spices we've got, the vegetables, at all the sauces, and just get some ideas from the recipes I've gathered from the requests from the family and stuff that I both fancy eating and can be bothered to cook, in all honesty. We're pretty good at sharing the chores in this house. My husband's great, so it's up to him as well. So I go through, can you notice the after eights there? I have a bit of a addiction. Bit of one, well, a massive addiction. Look, just look at him. I'm blaming the pregnancy. You can see that I've got all my fruit and veg prepped, loads of Tupperware that's making the most of leftovers, so no waste. Look out for my separate video on planning and food prepping. It just gives you some really good hints and tips of getting organising ahead of time. This is the most important fridge though, it's a lot more exciting. My husband insisted that when we moved into this house not all that long ago, that we have a dedicated drinks fridge. That's Daddy's juice, as my son lovingly calls it, and that's Mummy's juice right there. My third step is to pick out the recipes you're actually going to use for the week. So after all the family requests and going through your magazine recipes, etc., just mark them up, and you might want to park some for the week after. But choose the ones that you actually fancy eating and can all be bothered to cook. And after you've done that, I write it down. So I write a list of foods that I can actually prepare that will make the whole process speedier throughout the week. So the fourth and final step is to actually start the planning and prepping, so just get into it. You've got your lists of all the recipes that you want to do, you've got all the foods that you can prepare in advance that is going to make it all speedier and easier throughout the week. So get going. Something that I do every week is boil up a lot of eggs. I find that they're really healthy snacks to grab out the fridge, and my husband likes taking them to work. They're great chopped up on salads, they're great for kids as well. And in this family, my son and I especially adore pasta. So we love fresh pasta or gluten-free pasta, and I bung a load of that in the pan and boil that up while the eggs are on the hob at the same time. In some countries, that's considered appreciation of your food. Now, you don't have to do this, but the Monica Geller in me actually writes up my recipes for the week on a chalkboard, and I'm going to show you some really cool ideas now to make the whole thing a bit more creative. So here goes, don't laugh at me. I actually use a wall decal, so it's like a sheet of vinyl chalkboard, and I put little reminders to do for today. I've got funny quotes to keep me amused and motivated, and a remember section as well, especially at the moment with baby brain. I really need this. I prettified it with washi tape, which I have a total addiction to. So this is the finished menu for this week. That's what we've been troughing our way through. From macaroni cheese with bacon, salmon and frittata with a rocket salad, quinoa pizzas, of which I've done a tutorial on my video channel. The Eat, Pray, Love medley is something I read about in the book and have since become addicted to. A very simple plate of oily salmon, great bread, cheese, eggs, asparagus, and so easy. This sounds totally dubious, but I'm about to show you things you can do with a cucumber. Now, this is a gadget that peels veg and sharpens it and creates loads of cool shapes. There's the link for you. It's got a pencil sharpener end for all the creative stuff, and the vegetable peeler makes it super quick and easy. I always peel my cucumbers and end up with these ribbons, so just keep on peeling, take the skin off, and then keep going with that process, and I end up with these ribbons that look really nice and fancy on salads. Then I get some cheese and some leftover roast chicken, add a dollop of natural yogurt and a sprinkle of Himalayan pink salt, and I get rolling. I roll them up and they look like these really cool fancy hors d'oeuvres, which are really tasty. In fact, I might just have this one. Yum. And they look really impressive at parties. They make great snacks. They're a nice little side dish. I'll show you, you can line them up and do loads in one go. It's really fast. And it's just a different way to get loads of goodness inside of you. You can roll loads up in one go. Of course, keep them in the magic Tupperware box, and you've got lovely fancy snacks to serve to guests and have throughout the week.
Another little thing that I do is take a cheese block, and I'll probably do this half in thin slices and the next half leave it as it is in case I fancy it in a different way. And here they are in all their glory. I'm just going to pinch one and have one now. They do look fancy, see? Put them on a nice vintage plate and you've got party food. And then the other thing I do with the cucumber is to chop them up. I do some extra peelings and extra shavings because it might look good making a fancy salad. But I cut them into chunks and then have lemon juice, pepper and Himalayan salt. Really nice, easy, tasty combination of seasoning, and whack all that on top of the chunks. It just gives you something you can add to a salad and snack on again throughout the week. Put it in the Tupperware, give it a good shake, just to make sure that every piece is evenly coated with that seasoning. And hey presto, you've got your prepared salad chunks. And I actually have been known, especially during this pregnancy, to sit there with that giant box of Tupperware and eat the whole lot.
Another favourite for the whole family is to bake my bacon and cut them into strips or chunks, so you've got loads of tasty bacon bits. I say bake because I like it really crispy, sort of American style, and I put it into salads. I stir it through into pasta, treat the dog if he's lucky. Shh, don't tell my other half. But it's dead easy with a pair of scissors, and we all love it. It's great on jacket potatoes. There are endless ideas. And then, of course, I keep it in some Tupperware. You end up with gorgeous bits like this. Or I reuse a glass jar, and so it keeps it all nice and fresh. And so here's the entire collection, as it were. The boiled eggs, the cucumber chunks and ribbons, the fresh pasta.
These are little flapjack bowls and a treat jar next to that for my son, and you can read about that and watch the videos on my channels and blog for some information about that. Now, this isn't for everyone, definitely not. You don't have to be as organised as me, but the one thing is for sure, this process does help you be more organised, helps you save money and cause less waste. So give it a go and let me know how you get on. But for now, it's bye from us. Bye-bye.